Hey, everybody. Thanks for braving the rain and making it here today. And I'm happy for the opportunity to be able to share with you a story about a business that we created called Energea. And some of this, I just want to set the stage. These will be facts and figures that a lot of people here know already, but it's important to zero in on why we created Energea. It starts off with the realization that the world needs a ton more energy. In the global south, they're just trying to get in the game. You have a situation like in Africa, for example, where 25% of the world's working age population isn't going to have access to electricity if we don't do something to provide power to that continent. 25% of the world's working age population without access to electricity doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, in the Western world, we're competing with other nations in a race for the future economy. Energy to power data centers and AI, energy to power electrified vehicles, robotics, blockchain systems. It's all a big energy play. So we know that, right? Everybody here in the room can appreciate how much energy we need. And when we talk about energy, we're talking about energy infrastructure. And that means power plants and the capital to build them. It so happens that most of the power infrastructure today is solar energy. This is from 2024, a comparison of the new power sources put online throughout the world. As you can see, that yellow portion of the pie chart is solar photovoltaics. We install more solar as a world each year than all of the wind, natural gas, nuclear, hydro, coal combined. So we're fortunate here that the most cost-effective form of new power generation is a clean form of new power generation. So for the rest of my talk today, we're really going to be talking about the solar infrastructure of the world. We're going to need to find a lot more capital to solve these giant problems. Well, we know where the capital is. The capital is being wielded by American individuals. American individuals control $130 trillion in our savings accounts, in our retirement plans, and in the investments that we all make each and every day, more so than not with our thumbs on our phones. What we're seeing is that it's chump change to the American individual investor to power Africa, to power the AI revolution, to give the United States an advantage in energy, and to secure a more balanced climate for the world. But if there's $130 trillion that we all decide to do with that money, and as you can see throughout this week, people are very concerned about climate change, we need more energy, then why is so little of this money making its way into new solar energy power plants? In truth, there's about $500 billion of new solar being installed every year, but only less than half of that is being funded with American dollars. That's less than 0.5% of the money that we control and choose how we want to invest it is going into this very important asset class. Why? Well, at Energea, we believe that the reason why is because there hasn't been an efficient, easy, and transparent way for individuals to invest in solar power projects. There are a few projects in the public markets, products, if you will, where you can invest in solar companies, you can invest in manufacturers of solar materials, but the projects are the asset class that we care about the most. And there hasn't been a way for people to invest in them. So that's what we set out to do at Energea. And we built a platform that makes it easy and makes it transparent and allows individuals to select solar energy projects with their private money. Let's take a look.
Energy infrastructure has emerged as one of the most compelling investment opportunities of a generation. solar is leading the way because it's cheap, clean, and quick to deploy. Investors are already putting $500 billion to work in solar projects every year. The cash flows from these projects are secured by long-term contracts. They're typically indexed to inflation and insulated from the volatility of stock markets. But solar energy is a complex asset class. Each project carries unique technical, financial, and risk characteristics. The principals at Energea have been investing in solar energy since 2008. Energea carefully evaluates each project, guiding our clients to high-quality opportunities. And investing has never been easier. Create an account, explore carefully selected projects, track your investments, and stay informed through our regular updates, detailed reporting, and interactive webinars. Join Energea today and add energy infrastructure to your investment portfolio.
So it seems kind of obvious that there would be an investment platform where individuals could connect with this great asset class and invest in solving these giant problems. But how did we get here? It took us a little while to figure it out. It started with one of my good buddies. His name is Chris Sattler, and he's the co-founder of Energea with me. We've been friends since preschool, and we've had a lot of parallel tracks in our life. When we were in our 20s, we started energy companies. When we were in our 30s, we sold them. And we collaborate on our nonprofit work together. Chris and I are both board members of a wildlife conservation group called Big Life, based in Kenya. It's been one of the joys of our life to patrol 2 million acres with 400 rangers and to provide security for the people who live amongst the wildlife and security for the wildlife who live amongst these people. And in 2017, fresh off selling our businesses, we were at a board meeting in Kenya when we decided to partner up and start investing together. So we created Energea originally as a platform for our own personal investments. So we talked about it and figured out what we wanted to do, and we figured that there was going to be a lot of money made in solar energy in Brazil. So Chris packed his bags, moved to Rio de Janeiro, and we stood up a Rio-based office to start exploring investment opportunities in this new solar energy market. We knew it was going to be hard. It's far, people speak Portuguese, it's a particularly challenging market in the way it's mapped out, but we went for it. We figured, even if the projects went over budget and they underproduced electricity and we had to buy the solar panels twice, and if COVID destroyed the supply chains and if utility companies wouldn't interconnect our project, and then we got sued, and then one of the contractors drove off in a Porsche never to be seen again, even if all that happened, we would still make money. So we got through this and we did make money. So we called in for reinforcements. We went to private equity, which is generally what people in the solar energy industry do when they've got a hot idea for a segment of investment. But while we were raising capital from private equity, we did 3 different funds. We started building hundreds of projects like this. We also did some side deals with our friends and family. We had been doing this long enough and had been successful long enough that we had some friends who trusted us, and we passed the hat around and we did a couple of projects on our own. Well, as the time went by, we started to realize that the deals that we were doing with our friends and family were outperforming the deals we were doing with private equity. Our friends and family deals were quicker on the draw, and they gave us the control that we needed to solve problems. Whereas the private equity deals ultimately got substantially lower returns for their clients after their own fees. And it was more fun, quite frankly, to work for our friends and family than it was for the private equity guys. So that started the idea of saying, wait, started off as Chris and I, and then it became a couple dozen friends and family. What if we build a platform and allow anybody to invest alongside us? And that's exactly what we did. From 2 to 20 to 17,000 users on the platform today. And we're being in a situation where we can aggregate that capital to build these really cool projects. But on the flip side, we were powering thousands of individual energy users, saving them 30% on their electric bills. These are the condominiums and ballet schools and shopping malls and the kiosks along Rio de Janeiro beach. We're all receiving clean energy. So on one hand, individuals in the United States choosing solar energy projects with their private capital. And on the other, clean energy in a market that desperately needs more, just like they all do. The idea was really starting to work. So after success in Brazil, we decided to start a second product. This time we were going to invest in renewable energy projects in the US. A market that we had a lot of experience in, is where my first business was based, and we had done hundreds of projects in the US already, and my non-compete was over. So we came back to the US in order to build projects here. And one of my favorite projects is the Fresno Yosemite Airport project. I think this is a story worth telling. It's kind of a cool one, because this project was originally built in 2007 by some company called like Pools and Solar. So they weren't sure if the solar thing was going to work yet. So they also sold pools on the side, I think. But it was a pretty masterful accomplishment for 2007. That's a big solar project for those days. But it had grown, and it got old, and it was neglected. And the guys that owned it called me up and said, Mike, would you take this project off our hands? So I said, sure. It's a great investment for my clients who pooled up the capital. We acquired the project. It's a real banger. But it had all these old solar panels. So we took off 5,700 solar panels from the Fresno Yosemite Airport site. We had to figure out, what do we do with these things? There's 130 million solar panels installed in the United States alone. What are we going to do with these things when they get old? We got to figure this out. We found some guys in Yuma, Arizona, who were trying to figure out how to recycle them. They're appropriately called We Recycle Solar. And these guys figured out how to recycle about 75% of the module. That's all the aluminum framing, your glass, your copper. The stuff that's easy to access is easy to recycle. So they tested each and every module, and the ones that were duds got recycled. We believe we can get to 95% recyclability on these modules when we have more intensive processes to separate the silicon and the silver, the two most valuable pieces of a module, and recycle that too. Not only will it increase the amount that we can recycle as a percentage of the module, but will also make recycling modules profitable. It's coming. These guys are working on it. We were happy to be part of this first phase of seeing projects come to the end of their life and start anew. So our investors will enjoy cash flow from that Fresno Yosemite project for the next 20 years. We recycled about 4,000 of those modules, but we discovered about 1,000 of those modules worked. They were in good condition. I'm not just going to recycle a perfectly functioning solar panel in a state of time when we desperately need more energy all over the world. So we packaged them up. We knew what to do. We would send them to Big Life. So we sent these extra solar panels, all because our clients decided to invest in solar energy projects, and that we used those extra solar panels to power electrified fences that protect wildlife and protect people, and to power the schools. You know, these kids walk for days in some cases. You may have seen this type of thing before. They sleep at the school. They move the desks to the side. There's no electricity. There's no running water. It's a travesty. Forget about having the internet or smartboard. We're taking these extra modules, and they're having a second life here in Africa. And I just think that to see the circularity of a solar energy project gives me hope that we should be confident in installing more of this stuff. It will keep being used, and that which can't be used will be recycled. There's no reason not to plow forward in solar. But I think it would be a mistake to represent Africa as a hand-me-down market. It's more than just a place for altruism. It's becoming a viable market. So our third product at Energea is a portfolio of investments for profit in Africa, where we believe we can make money by electrifying this continent. Not everywhere, not every project is investable, but some of them are. An increasing number of project opportunities in Africa are making money. Let's send that capital there. We got 150 trillion, let's use it. So we started off in Africa building projects in South Africa. We're gonna start off with what we perceive to be the safest place. Specifically, we chose Cape Town, sort of a pocket of financial stability in a fairly chaotic financial continent. We started installing solar and batteries for schools and universities and commercial and industrial businesses, and they were thirsty for this power. This is a retirement facility here, and they need power because there's not enough power in their country. They were getting turned off for 3, 4, 5 hours a day. It's called load shedding. They desperately needed to take matters into their own hands and have access to the control over their electrification, and that's exactly what these solar and battery projects provided them, and they were the easiest sale I've ever seen in solar. They were whipping, and we've issued thousands of invoices to all these customers, and they've been paid on time without exception, knock on wood. You can do business in Africa. And with this beachhead in Cape Town, we developed the confidence we needed to get bigger, do bigger projects. Now we're building 60 megawatt projects and 70 megawatt projects in multiple nations in Africa, all with clients' capital assembled through the platform. Why not? But the impact isn't just in Africa. We're now seeing opportunities to invest in rural electrification in ways that are actually profitable. One such example is our newest portfolio. We call it LATAM. It's for markets south of our border, excluding Brazil, because we already have a product there, but there's a lot of opportunities in places like Colombia, Chile, hopefully Argentina one day. We started off with addressing the situation in Colombia. There's 230,000 households that have no power. How are we gonna get to those guys? And how can we finance the installation of solar equipment so that they have access to power and my client's capital is safe and generating returns? You know, a lot of my clients are retirement funds. They're using their nest egg. They're trusting in Energea with it. These are teachers and plumbers and my neighbors, my friends. So we take protecting their money very seriously. But in this project, we can do a lot of good while protecting our clients' capital too. I think it's easiest to show this though through another video. Let's take a look.
In the heart of Colombia, over 230,000 households still live without electricity. But change is not just a dream, it's a reality unfolding today. Thanks to innovative programs and Energea's groundbreaking investment platform, more than 20,000 families now have the power to light their homes, irrigate their fields, and transform their communities. It begins with a vision, a government initiative that channels support from those who can afford it to those who need it most. This policy backstops the payments for solar and battery installations in remote communities, places where electricity was once unimaginable. We're financing a new type of energy service, one designed to deliver life-changing installations and ensure that even the most isolated communities can embrace the benefits of electricity. Energea provides the capital that fuels this transformation, bringing together thousands of investors who believe in this brighter future. And at the heart of it all are the people, the Wayu communities of La Guajira and the Arawaku of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Now, they use this power to stay on their land, preserve their traditions, and improve their daily lives. With electricity, they can light their homes, power their schools, and expand their artisanal crafts, blending the old with the new. This is not just a vision for tomorrow, it's a reality today. With every light that turns on, we see the power of collaboration and the strength of community. You can help bring clean energy to those who need it most and be part of something truly impactful.
So I, for one, think we need to stop asking for permission to build the world that we want, begging, pleading with companies and governments. We need to take the money that we control, the money that we invest, and put it into the things that matter to us. And we're trying to create the plumbing and the architecture for that to be simple and transparent and easy. And I think projects like this demonstrate that really well. So thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it. And we'll be hanging out at the garden having a cup of coffee if anybody would like to come and chat and learn more about Energea. Thanks.